First, brought to you by Todd Shore's McClarty Ford.
Well, good morning. Starting off very cold this Wednesday morning as all locations have fallen into the 20s, below freezing here. 28 in Texarkana, also 28 Shreveport and Natchitoches. We're at 22 in DeQueen, 27 in Mount Pleasant, and also 27 in Minden. Clear skies across the region. We, of course, had to deal with some cloud cover to start out the day yesterday. All day sunshine for us today. Eventually that will warm us into the mid-50s, so just a few degrees higher than yesterday. Much lighter wind as well, not dealing with wind chills throughout your Wednesday. We'll talk about a chance of rain late this week, early this weekend, and as well as that Christmas Day forecast. That's a look at your Todd Shore's McClarty Ford forecast first. NBC 6 News Today begins right now.
Now, from your community, local news that matters. This is NBC 6 News Today.
Coming up, 10 teens are arrested for more than a dozen car burglaries. We share reaction from neighbors and a warning from Bossier City Police.
And Shreveport's mayor reflects on his first year in office in a candid discussion about the challenges he's faced. Good morning. Thanks for keeping it local with NBC 6 News Today. I'm Jeanne Francine.
And I'm Brad Cesek. We begin this morning with an update. Police have arrested a man in connection to a fatal shooting in Homer. 19-year-old
Jatarius Burns is charged with the second-degree murder of Ashton Nelson. His body was found Monday night at the intersection of Adams and Memphis Street. State police are still investigating this morning.
Nearly a dozen people are facing prostitution charges following an undercover operation in Shreveport-Bossier. State police conducted a two-day human trafficking detail.
The primary goal was to rescue human trafficking and child sex trafficking victims while arresting sex traffickers and child predators. 11 people were arrested and are behind bars this morning.
Your safety matters, and a group of teens are charged with a crime spree in Bossier City.
Authorities have a warning to neighbors this morning so they don't fall victim to these crimes. NBC6's Markel Sinet reports.
So we got to do something.
10 teenagers are arrested for a string of car burglaries and vehicle thefts in the Green Acres and Stockwell subdivisions and in South Bossier.
10 kids, look like one ought to have been smart enough to know that we don't need to do this.
The teens are between the ages of 13 and 16, and according to Bossier Police, they're connected to 15 cases from November and December in this area.
We kids that sit down and pray with them and try to help them out the best we can.
Tracy Landry with Bossier City PD wants neighbors to be more vigilant.
They need to be, every night, they need to be locking their vehicles, taking all of your valuables out of your vehicles.
Police say 3 stolen guns were recovered from the teens and will be returned to the owners. More arrests are expected.
If it's out of the ordinary, if it's something that you feel is potentially an issue, then you can give us a call, and we ask you to do that.
And that was Markel Sinet reporting. Last year, the Bossier Sheriff launched the LOC campaign.
LOC stands for Lock Your Vehicles, Observe Your Surroundings, and Call for Help. A city spokesperson says it's resulted in a 17% drop in car burglaries.
And Shreveport City Council approves funding for new high-tech crime-fighting software. The police department will receive $50,000 to purchase new forensic software and equipment. It allows investigators to conduct search warrants and pull information from cell phones and computers. Police Chief Ben Raymond says the department will no longer have to borrow the equipment from law enforcement agencies in Bossier and Caddo Parish.
Our needs are getting to the point we really need to have our own unit. We kind of feel like we're putting all those other agencies at a disadvantage when we're constantly going over there with our stuff, and we just think it's appropriate at this point, being the largest law enforcement agency in this area, to have our own digital forensics unit.
Chief Raymond expects everything to be up and running by the summer of 2020.
Well, Shreveport Mayor Adrian Perkins shares what he feels are his successes and some of the growing pains he's felt during his first year in office. Our Dan Jovic sat down with him to discuss what issues are at the forefront heading into year 2.
You don't know what the job entails until you're in the seat.
Mayor Adrian Perkins has crossed the 1/4 mark of his term, and he's learned the job and hours extend well beyond time spent at Government Plaza.
You don't see the countless amount of times that I've spent in living rooms with families that have suffered losses themselves. So that type of thing I didn't really see from the outside. You don't really calculate.
He stayed very visible, appearing at crime scenes, countless events, and leading the push for a bond proposal which ultimately failed. He says he's most proud of producing a balanced budget for next year.
We passed the first true balanced budget in the last 9 years in Shreveport, almost a decade, where we didn't dip into the reserves to actually pass a balanced budget.
On the flip side, he admits he made a mistake when implementing new insurance for the city.
I would go back and make sure we were a lot more patient with it. I would make sure that I was a lot more specific in the guidance that I was given, and we would make sure that we opened it up for everybody to compete.
Perkins says public safety and creating economic opportunity remain his highest job priorities in order to change the culture and perception of Shreveport.
With our police officers, they're out every day and really pursuing their community-oriented policing, which I came into office on, getting to know people. We're getting more tips. They're being more effective in our neighborhoods. So that's also helping the safety piece, and people are understanding, a life of crime does not pay off. With economic development, it takes years to work some of these deals. Myself and Brandon Feld, the economic development director, we have relentlessly marketed Shreveport to local investors and to outside investors as well. And we're looking forward to year number 2 when we're looking to capitalize on a lot of those relationships.
Perkins knows the city did not incur many of its problems with crime and roads overnight, and they won't be solved that quickly either.
I think this is something that you got to chip at and chip at and chip at. And I say that because if you look back historically, we didn't have one big loss that put us in the position that we've had. We've had losses over the years that have really just weighed on the psyche of a lot of our citizens. So it's gonna take win after win after win to really build that confidence back up.
Dan Jovic reporting there. Mayor Perkins says overall crime is down 9% and major job creation projects are in the works. You can see the entire interview on our website, arclatexhomepage.com.
Community Matters and in Hope, Arkansas, Domestic Violence Prevention Incorporated has opened a new boutique next to its advocacy center. The group says the store's main goal is to serve victims, but the public is welcome to shop as well.
It's filled with new and gently used items like clothing, shoes, and housewares. Organizers say many times victims leave their homes with nothing.
They don't have toothbrushes, shampoo, washcloth, things like that, them or their children. So they're able to come to our office and we give them a care package, and it's got things like that in there. And now with our store, we're able to give them clothing now.
The boutique has a current need for men's clothing. The group says domestic violence doesn't discriminate. Men can be victims as well.
Well, coming up, meteorologist Josh Morses has a full check of your forecast.
And it's been a debate for some time now. Should student athletes get paid? More on that story after the break.
Yo, yo, mic check, level check, moving around. We good? Mic check, level check. Not this crap again.
And now, your weather authority, Josh Marcis, certified the most accurate forecast in the Arklatex.
Well, good morning, everyone. Your time right now, 5:40. It is very cold outside. We have temperatures to start out the morning in the 20s. I give that the thumbs down. Just too cold for us this morning, but it should be a little more pleasant this afternoon. One thing we're not dealing with, even though we have temperatures in the 20s, is any kind of wind. Most of the wind speeds that we are seeing about 3 miles per hour, but most locations reporting calm winds to start out the day. So unlike yesterday, we're not dealing with those serious wind chills across the region, but still very cold. Make sure you're bundled up if you step out there anytime before about 9 o'clock this morning, as we will likely be looking at temperatures below freezing until we get to about 8:30 this morning. Satellite and radar across the region yesterday. We still had quite a bit of cloud cover across the Arklatex. That made its way out yesterday, so we did see the return of sunshine yesterday, and we will see all-day sunshine today. High pressure kind of building in back to our west here, so that will continue to steer the dry northwest breeze into the Arklatex today, but your northwest wind about 5 miles per hour, so very light wind. So under the sunshine a little bit later, it should feel all right this afternoon, up to about 56 degrees in Jefferson, Atlanta at 54, Clarksville and New Boston at 53 and 56, your forecast high in center. So all these numbers you're seeing here, just a few degrees below normal for where we should be once we hit mid-December. 56 in Coshada, 56 for Shreveport Bossier as well. A little bit cooler north of I-20. I have Plain Dealing and Spring Hill at 53, 54 in Texarkana, Magnolia at 52 and 53 in DeQueen. Looks like Idabel, you'll top out at 51, be our cool spot across the Arklatex today. Looking at Robbins Toyota Futurecast, you can see the counter up in the corner is counting away the hours here, but we're not going to see anything as far as cloud cover today with the dry air in place. So that's why we're expecting all day sunshine and of course clear skies and very light wind tonight. Winds will actually switch back around to the south at about 2 miles per hour. So with that light wind, we are looking at another very cold night as temperatures tonight into the upper 20s and low 30s. I have Shreveport, Minden, Mansfield at 30 degrees. Pretty much everybody else in the upper 20s, including 28 for Natchitoches, 27 in Idabel, and 29 tonight in Texarkana. We will see clouds start to increase late in the day tomorrow. Mostly cloudy Friday. This is going to take us to about 7 p.m. Friday, so it'll be dry through the daylight hours. We could see a few showers pop up again Friday evening into Friday night, and it's looking like we could see a few showers linger into the day Saturday, but you see the GFS or American model here not buying into the rain chance so much this weekend, but I have included about a 30% chance of rain on Saturday, just given what the European model is showing, which is a little more rain early in the weekend. So that's why I've included that 30% rain chance for us. If we did see any accumulations, likely less than about 1/10 of an inch of rain. So if you have outdoor plans, wouldn't be too concerned about any rain on Saturday. At this point, temperatures will kind of stay in the 50s here as we head into the weekend. Should be back above freezing once we get into Friday morning. And as far as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and into Christmas Day, we've got a nice warming trend and a dry pattern setting up for much of next week. So it looks like highs Christmas Day will likely either be in the upper 60s or low 70s, and I would say just partly cloudy skies at this point. So it's setting up to be a fairly pleasant Christmas week. Let's check out the forecast. Go ahead and send it back over to Brad.
Thanks, Josh. Let's take a look now at the roadways this morning with our NBC6 Today traffic alert with Waze. And so far, so good here in the Arklatex. No real traffic alerts to bring you. But as Josh said, with these cold temperatures going on right now, go ahead and give yourself a little bit extra time, because with some of those older vehicles, they might not want to cooperate with temperatures like this. So go ahead, give yourself some time to maybe crank up the engine, get that heater going, because it's cold out there, so you don't want to hop into a cold car. As always, you can stay up to date on the latest traffic alerts with Waze and throughout the newscast right here on NBC6.
Turning to your national headlines this morning, investigators say it appears 2 children who went missing Sunday from their home in Florida wandered off.
The pair were found in Jacksonville yesterday afternoon. A search and rescue team heard a child's voice, which led them to 6-year-old Braxton Williams and 5-year-old Bria Williams. Police say the children were found in a dilapidated pump house surrounded by brush just a few miles from their mobile home.
The siblings disappeared from their front yard Sunday morning after their father briefly stepped inside.
The House Rules Committee sets the parameters for the vote on the articles of impeachment against President Trump. The committee voted along party lines to agree on 6 hours of debate today on the 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress.
Republicans requested 12 hours of debate. The full House is expected to vote on the 2 articles sometime today. Of course, we'll have a live report from Washington coming up later in our newscast.
Well, in other news, the Heisman Trophy has been awarded and the College Bowl picture is coming into focus. College hoops already in full swing and March Madness will be here before we know it.
But the student athletes who entertain us and make big bucks for their schools do not get in on the bounty. NBC6's Morgan Wright reports on the effect to change that.
There's plenty of fanfare and money surrounding college sports.
It's obviously a very important part of Americana.
But the debate over whether or not to pay student athletes has many crying foul. On Capitol Hill, Utah Republican Senator Mitt Romney and Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy are at the forefront of addressing the lack of compensation for student athletes.
It's time for us to recognize that student athletes need to get a little bit more than they are today.
The lawmakers met with NCAA President Dr. Mark Emmert to discuss potential solutions
to modernize our rules, to provide greater opportunity for student athletes in a variety of areas that we're talking about.
But Emmert says solving the problem gets harder when states like California pass their own laws. A federal solution would have to come before that state's Fair Pay to Play Act, which takes effect in 2023.
I think it's very hard to have colleges competing across state lines, and each state has different rules about how the athletes are able to participate financially in their sport.
Senator Romney says it's also important to find a solution that helps players without a high profile.
Because if you're the left tackle at a Division I school that may not be the most prominent school in the country, you're probably not going to see a lot that's going to come from name, image, and likeness.
There's currently no legislation to address the issue, but lawmakers plan to continue their talks with the NCAA in the new year. Reporting in Washington, Morgan Wright.
Well, coming up, if you have a complaint about your landlord, the Better Business Bureau is ready to help.
Find out how in this week's Consumer Watch segment after the break.
You're watching NBC 6 News Today.
NBC6 wants you to know the latest in business and consumer news with our weekly Consumer Watch segment. President of the Better Business Bureau for the Arklatex, Andy Fisher, joins us now. Andy, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the BBB scam for the week. We're going to talk about rental properties. It appears that the BBB has received a great number of complaints from people that are either renting apartments or that have problems getting the owners to repair whatever problems they may have. And we've had a great number of complaints from individuals that have filed a complaint with the BBB. We will send that complaint to the apartment or the complex, whoever it may be, and ask them to respond to that complaint. If they don't respond to it, you can go to the state. Louisiana State has a fair housing division, and that number is 800-273-5718. That's 800-273-5718, and file a complaint with them. We had a member of the BBB that is in the timeshare business, and someone contacted them to purchase their timeshare. And the people paid this person $5,000 and found out that it was a scam. So if someone calls you and you do have a timeshare and they want to purchase it from you, be sure that it's legitimate. Call the timeshare people and be sure that they're aware of it. But that's the scam for this week. I hope you have a great week. Thank you.
All right, Andy, thank you for those helpful tips. And to stay up to date on the latest consumer news and alerts, join us Wednesday mornings right here on NBC 6 for your weekly Consumer Watch segment. Well, Josh is back with a quick check of the forecast after the break. Stay tuned.
You're watching NBC 6 News Today.
Welcome back. There's no place like home for the holidays, but traveling is not an easy task or fun for many people.
A new study commissioned by parking app Spot Hero says the average American will engage in 12 arguments, at least 8 especially stressful moments, and worry about lateness at least 4 times.
The most common offenders are weather, bumper-to-bumper traffic, losing something, forgetting your ID, not being able to find an airport parking spot, and just packing in general.
Other front runners are airport delays, long TSA lines, and your flight could be canceled. And looking at all of this, it just reminds me of the Home Alone movies. You know, they were a great family and they loved each other, but every Christmas they just could not get it together.
Man, talk about a stressful moment. You just leave a kid.
And that was pre-TSA. Imagine now if they were running that late, they would have just missed the flight completely, and Kevin McAllister would have been just fine.
Yeah, they would have remembered. They would have looked around and been like, "Hey, where's Kevin at?"
Yeah.
I think it was the second movie where they were running through the airport.
Right.
Remember?
It definitely was.
Just all of this can relate to Home Alone. So hopefully this year they don't forget him.
Such a good movie. I've watched it twice this week. It's just been on TV and I've stopped and watched it. I love that movie.
Me too.
It's so rewatchable.
what I don't love, these frostbiting temperatures.
I don't think many people do. We have temperatures in the 20s this morning, like 30s and 40s is cold. We can deal with that, but come on, 20s this morning, 21 in DeQueen, 28 in Texarkana, Shreveport at 28 as well, and 27 in Natchitoches. It's pretty dry, so there is a little bit of frost on your windshield if you park the car outside, but not quite like last week where we actually definitely had some ice on the windows. So you may want to give yourself just a few extra minutes to defrost the car, as we've been mentioning through the newscast. But very quiet conditions for us today, so if you can just kind of brave the cold this morning, should turn into a very nice day as far as the recreation forecast. High pressure to our west continues to steer those dry north winds into the region, and calm winds this morning. So that's the good news, is we're not dealing with the wind chill temperatures that we had to kind of suffer through the day yesterday. Winds will stay light out of the northwest, generally about 5 miles per hour today. Occasionally you could see the breeze between 5 to 10, but shouldn't have any effect on the waterways. Should just have perfect surface conditions out there on the lakes and rivers today. And I have light wind in the forecast through the middle of next week, so I don't think we'll have another breezy day over the next 7 days. And forecast highs today close to normal. We'll be in the mid-50s, and I think it will feel pretty good out there under the sun once we hit about 11, 12 o'clock this afternoon, and should feel great once we head into the back half of the day today. Dry for the rest of the week. Could see a few raindrops Friday night, Saturday morning. That's it.
Can we just fast forward to the afternoon then? Get those warm
Let's just get it. Let's just jump through the morning. I think everybody would be okay with that. Short work day as well.
Yeah, I'm thankful there's no wind, because yesterday, when I tell you, I'm not exaggerating, my car was like, it seemed like it was about to blow over the bridge.
Wind is my enemy. I don't mind colds, but when you get cold and you get the wind on top of it, it's, the worst. So
treacherous.
Light winds today, thank goodness.
All right, let's take a live look now from our Arkansas DOT traffic cam, and not a lot of cars out there, but probably a safe bet they all have their heaters on.
100% chance they all have their heaters on this morning. As long as they're working, definitely a cold start to the day for us. We'll talk about temperatures kind of staying cool for the remainder of the week, but there is a warm up late this weekend into your Christmas week, and I'll have all the details on that. Stay with us. NBC 6 News continues next.